A game which had the potential to be great has doomed. Oh shoot, doomed. Today we're gonna be talking about this game, Anime Saga, guys. If you know, you know. We used to. If you know, you know. We used to actually play this game. I made a couple of videos on it. All I'm saying, we even streamed this game and we had bare fun. But we're going to talk about the situation with this game and what actually happened to it. Like, what happened? Why did this game actually hit this downfall? What happened? How can it come back? Can it even come back with 20 players currently active? I don't know. Let's find out. But anyways, let's go right into the video. All right. So I'm currently, playing one of the game modes because. Yeah, why not? But we're gonna actually just talk about this game, like Anime Saga. I feel because right now I have no content as well. I can't lie, don't know what to do. But this is a dead game, and I do want to actually see, like, fully understand, and ask you guys even what do you think? Why did this game die? Like currently, as you see, I'm just playing the game, yeah, right? Quality is quite good from majority of the units. Quality was never the issue in my opinion. You can't tell me quality was bad for this game. This game had quite the good quality. Majority of units did look nice, slick. They did what they did. Nothing even against that, because quality was there. So why did they actually fail? Now that is, I believe, is mainly due to the fact of what people really expected. Now I think the updates is what took the game downhill, right? You had, of course, the best ever game, and where this idea originated from, Anime Dimensions, right? Now that game, gang don't know, but that game was the game, yeah? And no one knows, but like that game is literally the game, right? I feel like that's where the idea, everything originated for this game came from that game. Now inspiration was taken 100%. You can clearly see it in this game, the development, everything, how it looks currently. In my opinion, looks amazing. But it died just purely off, in my opinion, updates and lack of really community talk and what the community wanted. Also, kind of how long the updates did take. It wasn't like, short period updates, that it took a week to, now it took some time as well. It is understandable because this game is a bit different, but yeah, again, you do want your updates a bit more faster at least. Plus you also want to deliver good stuff, right? Quality was probably never the issue, okay? I feel like it's the maps as well. Like right now I'm playing the Tundra map, yeah, the Demon Slayer map. It is too big. I don't know why I'm actually going. I think I want to just get Tundra, but in my opinion it's too big. Like Anime Dimensions had smaller maps, which made the game go by faster. You also had different elements helping, with the game. So overall, you could clear it faster. But this is a bit slower. Okay, that's one of my points. It's just the speed, the pacing of the game. Also, the boss is like 100k HP. I know I'm doing quite a lot of damage, right? But majority of people wouldn't be able to. I'm lucky I have Doombringer, because if I didn't, I'd be cooked, if I'm being real. So I'm just doing high damage because of a trait I got, right? And that's my next point, traits. I feel like this game should have never actually had traits. Like as I was saying, this type of game should have never had traits. Like sure, traits are calm, yeah, but let's keep it civil. Anime Dimensions, even them, their traits were quite civil, I say. Like when you had a trait, it wouldn't make the character super OP and give them boost, this, that, but wouldn't make them overpowered. Maybe there was a trait that did cause that, but from what I've experienced, no, not really. So that is definitely where it really came from. But again, traits, that's another thing that could be fixed, sorted. It's really not that deep. The real deep part is just the updates. Honestly, if I'm being real, the constant poor quality. First of all, you bring out a rarity that is meant to be like a godly in ALS, right guys? A godly in ALS type rarity. You bring that out and you bring out basically every update. No, that type of rarity should be every couple of updates, even not even a month, like every month thing, like ALS, every second, third update, fourth update, even fifth update that should be coming out, not every update. So I feel like them consistently putting overpowered characters would also power creep them, which people, in my opinion, these type of games shouldn't really have power creep on. Like Anime Dimensions, yes, they do have slight power creep, But again, there is like old units are still very usable in that game. Old units in that game are still meta. Some of them are still useful. So that's my main point. All right, on to my next point, which was so far. Okay, so far let's recap. So far we got traits, which was an issue. Traits, which slight issue I'd say. Next we have what did I say? Quality, was it quality? Yeah, I believe so. Not quality. It was just updates, like in general updates. I'm sticking to those points. Next point, by the way, the reason I'm recapping is because I honestly had to go these on, so I don't want to forget. But my next point is gonna be just how the game just doesn't feel worth playing. You get, like, when you play a game, right, you wanna feel like you're appreciated for your hard work. This game, I feel like they put too much into the grind is as always, but the content isn't there. Okay, that's where I want to really say mainly. Content isn't really there, which I feel discouraged many from playing the game itself. If there's no content, what is the point of playing the game? Content is, there was quite a lot, like content based on how many characters you could obtain was fine. Yeah, there was quite a lot, but content based on what you could do was not really. There was story, there was raid, there was siege, and there was boss rush. That's it. And all those game modes were literally not fun, almost not fun at all, if I'm being real. If I'm being like completely honest with you all, those game modes were not fun. Let's be real. Did you guys enjoy any of those? Yes, at first story and that they're calm, but when you need to farm for evil items, it gets repetitive. That is not fun, and I'm sorry, but this game has that issue where it doesn't become fun because it's repetitive. Like, there's not many game modes that you could grind. In Enemy Dimensions, yeah, they started low, but there's so much you could do, right? Constant grind, even raids, like, I don't know why the game felt so much more rewarding. Maybe that it has a nostalgic, wow, can't even say the word, but you get it, a bit of nostalgia behind it. Maybe that's why when you play it, or maybe since it was one of the first games that implemented that whole idea, so it just felt, normal. Just, I don't know which one it is, but all I know is that game felt right. Okay, that game felt like it did belong, and it was meant to do what it did, right? But this game just doesn't feel like it has enough content. First of all, content, game modes base, and variety. Wow, English today is not on point, but I must be tired. So that's not the reason I'm truly sure that the game failed. It just doesn't feel, it doesn't feel calm, doesn't feel good. Yeah, every game has an addictive source, right? ALS, what the reason it's addictive, first of all, they do weekly updates, not now, but they're hopping back on the trend. They have traits, so a lot of gambling, and they're very easy to obtain. That's one thing which made it basically gambling for heaven right out there. Like, for gamblers, people just flipping in love. They got gambling addiction from ALS. ALS also just had a lot of different things you could do, different ways you could grind the game. Of course, every game when it first starts, it won't have a lot, but it did have quite a lot. Even every tower defense currently, it actually does have a lot of content to cover. There is still a lot to do, which is, my point is that every game that now releases, they always release with content. Now, I know this was bought by Boss Studio because there was potential and he did fail it, but I believe this game could truly come back. I am quite bummed out that the game failed. Now, don't get me wrong, it did fail for a good reason. Even I didn't like it, right? So, it did fail for a good reason, but I truly do believe this game has an opportunity to make a comeback if they truly tried, because now I believe they stopped working on it. Game's gone, not even lying. They straight up dropped the game, I believe. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I believe so, because last update was months ago, right? If they did something crazy, it'd be now, because they literally, Halloween went by nothing, so I'm assuming they stopped working on the game. That is quite a bummer, but I'm not gonna really, the game was going on a downhill. I think it did have potential, guys. Let's be honest to ourselves. This game did have quite decent potential. It could have been something even crazier, but I feel like it just failed with, actually creating the game we wanted. the game we wanted is what they didn't give, right? Stuff we wanted wasn't given to us, which I feel is the reason they failed. Is just Anime Dimensions just felt better. Even now, it's still averaging quite a lot of plays. I feel like it's also because of the amount of things you could grind in this game. You can just literally currently grind characters, and that's really it, just characters. And there's a gacha system for getting characters. It's like a tower defense. In my opinion, they should have done what Anime Dimensions did. I know it's kind of basically straight up copying the game, but they should have done where, cool, you could have a gacha for certain units, right? Like if Tundra was the main guy, yeah, you'd have a gacha for him, and then you have like other things you could get, like those spin tokens for stuff, maybe other things that would allow the player to get something. I don't know, but that's what, in my opinion, they should have done instead of what they did, which is straight up gacha the whole game, which is probably another very, very good reason for why the game failed. I'm not trying to gacha all my characters. If you can buy them, I'd prefer that, right? That's the thing. Like, I feel they failed in just delivering overall characters, focusing on mixing a tower defense with Anime Dimensions. The idea is alright at first, but when you fully realize it's not really the best, okay? There's so many things that could go wrong, which is the result of this game's current situation. The game just fell off. Why? Because they tried to mix what a tower defense does. Tower defenses, that, if we're being real, they're not even that fun. Let's guys be real. Most people play tower defenses macro. You're mixing a game where you fully macro, almost majority of the time you're macroing, with the game that you can't macro. So, alright, to end off, yeah, that's literally what I could say. What do you think, guys? What do you think? Why did this game die for you? Because if I'm being real, this game has a possibility of coming back. Yes, if they execute properly, like not like poorly, like how they did. First of all, updates, we gotta fix that. Quality of life, we gotta add a lot. There are still bugs in this game, I believe. That's another reason, bugs, which is crazy. So, you know, there's so many things to do to fix this game, but in my opinion, if they truly try, they can make a comeback with some crazy Christmas update. I don't know, maybe like a semi dungeon mode. If you want to implement dungeons. Yeah, you're in a dungeon, right? And it's like, the further you go, the better the rewards you get. Yeah, the chest, you get unlocked chests, right? So you can open chests, and from that you get rewards. So it's like ALS's that world color, I don't know what it's called, but you know that game mode where you just straight up you could grind and it gives you just random stuff as rewards, right? And you get the soul of whatever. But yeah, that game mode, but in this, in my opinion, it would work quite good, where each floor you clear, so you fight a boss maybe, or you fight a herd of enemies leading to a boss. You clear one floor, make sure it's not too long, make sure it's like 2 waves of enemies then a boss, just to keep it, you know, entertaining. And then, or like an infinity castle, like proper one, yeah, not like the one you have now where it's boss rush. Proper infinity with a unit at the end. Make it also doable, like that you could actually complete it. Don't make it basically impossible to complete, because who is playing that then? Realistically, who's gonna play a game where you can't, you know, do what you're meant to do? Yeah. So yeah, if they therefore implement an infinite mode, I feel like this game has a possibility of coming back with a cool unit, you know, not a major unit. Like, for example, they could make a type of units, like a support unit, you know, those types. So if they do that, they could probably do like Senku or like booster. I don't know, but I feel like infinite mode, add a unit that's not from major anime. I feel like that could get this game back on track for sure. It has a possibility at least. So, you know, there is a chance, right? And I would actually love to see this game coming back. In my opinion, it's not a bad game. So, yeah, what do you think, guys? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down below in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want to see more of me exploring a dead game, yeah, just hit me up. I'm joking. You know, thank you, guys. I'll see you in the next one.